Are you ready?
On the day where the USA women's hockey team conquers Canada, we have the $1 million question here on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. Who's that podcast in the box? It's us. Hello.
It is us. It is us. Hello, hello.
The three of us are here. Joe is in the virtual green room. Be added here. Oh, right now, as I say that out loud. I would have done it, but I had no hands.
That's fine.
Oh my god, what happened to your hands?
I lost them in the box.
Oh my god, I didn't even know you knew Mae Young.
Yeah, me and Mark Henry go way back.
Damn.
No, that was Farouk. That was his friend.
He was there.
Listen, this month we're allowed to reference all of them. It's fine.
Just to be safe, the views expressed by Joe do not reflect Mike or Jim or the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.
Obafemi's amazing.
Well, yes, there we go. Thank you.
We literally did not have that for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we did good. We did good.
A minute 52.
We were doing good. That's a record. That is a record.
That might be the fastest.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's both the fastest that we've had to use it on an episode, but also the longest number of weeks we've gone without having to use it that Joe was on the show. So
yeah, that is impressive.
We've had a couple of records here, so yeah, it's pretty impressive.
We're trying to go for one more so that we could pay homage to Lou Brown with what we like to call a winning streak.
Well, it ain't gonna be this day.
No. All right, so we got a chock full show. We'll talk obviously who's the man in the box. AJ Styles retirement tour. Maybe, I don't know what the fuck. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
I have a rant to probably end all rants when it comes to fuck you, Tony.
Okay.
We'll obviously play. We'll obviously talk fantasy wrestling because we're another week into that. Joe, you're up on the waiver wire. Do you want to make a move while we're here? Good talk, Joe. Glad we had it. And we'll obviously play episode 2 of What Old Show is Mike watching on the WWE Netflix?
Dude, my fat ass didn't need to see this. Coming to Aldi next week. Girl Scouts coconut caramel whipped cream and Thin Mints whipped light cream.
Yeah, I'll take 36 of those, please.
Dude, my fat ass didn't need to see that. I don't even need to put that on anything. I'll just fucking write the Thin Mint one right down my fat hole.
I have Thin Mints and I have Treyfuls.
I walked out of the room for 2 minutes and I came back to you saying the Thin Mint down my fat hole. Just want to say, I don't know what conversation I walked into.
No,
but Mazel Tov.
I was saying, well, first off, yeah, I mean, I'm not shying away from those words, but Aldi is about to get the caramel and the Thin Mint whipped cream next week, and I'm very excited about that.
So he was talking about putting the nozzle into
right in my mouth, just the nozzle. I don't even need to put that on. I don't know what you would put Thin Mint whipped cream on, like vanilla ice cream. Maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say chocolate or vanilla ice cream.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna get so fatter in about a
Fat.
week. Man, God! Every time I think I'm gonna start doing well again, they just keep pulling me back in.
2026, just punching you right in the nuts.
It's horrible. Actually, it was the end of 2025 that really got me.
Yeah, the holiday season, and then it snows.
Holidays and my back, and then the gout, and then
Snow.
the snow. It's just been a mess ever since.
Hey, Joe, you still there? Or did you walk out the room again?
I'm here.
You're up on the waiver wire for fantasy wrestling. You want to make a move?
I don't even know what the hell's happening in wrestling right now. I'll look at it.
All right, cool. All right, so before we get into the actual topics, let's play round 2 of what show is Mike watching on Netflix?
Oh God.
For those of you that missed,
the America's Next Top Model doc.
Incorrect. Good guess. So what basically we did this last week. I am watching a random show on the Netflix right now while we're recording our show. I read them off matches one by one, and they tried to guess what the show was. This week, there are 12 matches on this show. There were 3 of them
So,
on the
to be
pre-show.
clear, it is not a Triple H booked event.
Take that with what you will.
Okay.
I believe once I read you off the 3 matches that were the pre-show matches, you'll obviously kind of be able to figure out the era. So I'm going to read the 3 of those off together, and then we'll get into the main card.
Okay.
So don't guess until after the 3rd match.
Okay.
Match number 1, Mosh of the Headbangers with Thrasher took on Golga with the Giant Silva, Kurgan, and Luna Vachon.
Okay.
We had Kaientai, Funaki, and Men's Tiho versus the Hardy Boys. And 8 Ball with Paul Ellering versus Billy Gunn and Skull with Paul Ellering in a triple threat match.
Wait, so Paul Ellering was managing guys on both sides of the match.
I'm going to assume that it was a triple threat match. I used air quotes there.
Triple threat. Gotcha.
Where the 2 of them basically just double teamed Billy Gunn, and then 8 Ball technically got the win because he's the one who pinned Billy Gunn when the match was over.
Gotcha.
I'm just guessing. I didn't.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh no.
So okay.
Unforgiven 1999.
Incorrect.
Armageddon 1999.
Also incorrect.
Okay.
I will not go in order. I will just pick random matches. But I will tell you the first match I'm going to read off is the opening match of the show.
Okay.
Edge versus Owen Hart.
King of the Ring 1999.
Incorrect.
Wait. Edge versus Owen Hart?
Correct.
Owen Hart died in May of 99? Was it 99 that he died? It was either 98 or 99. I think it was 99. Had to have been 99. I was in 8th grade. And that was in May. So this has to be January through April. So I'm going to say Royal Rumble 1999.
Incorrect. Next up, a singles match. Mark Marrow versus Draws.
I'm just trying to think of B pay-per-view names from 1999. What the fuck events did they do in 1999? Shit. No Mercy 1999.
Incorrect.
Did you hear mine? No Way Out?
No, incorrect as well.
God damn it.
All right, co-main event. 6-man tag match. D-Generation X, Billy Gunn the Road Dogg, and X-Pac took on Southern Justice, Dennis Knight, and Mark Canterbury, and their partner, JEFF, JARRETT, Jeff Jarrett.
Was there a show just called Break It Down? Like in your house, break it down?
The name of the show is Breakdown in Your House.
Okay.
And that is the show.
Yeah, because it was like a DX, like it was very DX heavy.
So the full card.
There was also a D-Generation X, like
correct
in your house.
D-Generation X in your house, or in your house, D-Generation X. This one was Breakdown in Your House. The rest of that card, Al Snow and Too Cold Scorpio defeated Too Much, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor. Mark Mero again over Draws. Bradshaw over Vader in a False Count Anywhere match. D'Lo Brown versus Gangrel in a singles match. The Rock versus Ken Shamrock versus Mankind in a triple threat steel cage match to determine number one contender for the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
The Human Cell Machine. This guy could sell at a house at the Tokyo Dome. Val Venus versus Dustin Runnels. And the main event was a triple threat match that saw The Undertaker and Kane double pin Stone Cold Steve Austin to win the world title, where Undertaker and Kane were prohibited from defeating each other, and had anyone else interfered on Austin's behalf, Austin would immediately be stripped of the title.
You know what's crazy?
One of them had to pin Austin.
Here's what's crazy. I don't remember shit about that pay-per-view, but I remember the next night on Raw where Austin came out and attacked Undertaker and Kane with them standing in the ring with Vince and the title. And, like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Couldn't have told you shit about that pay-per-view, but I remember the night after.
Yeah, so that was Guess the Show that Mike's watching.
That's fun. I like that.
All right, let's get to the topics. We'll go with one of the topics, then I'll go in my rant so that you guys can comment, and then we'll wrap up with one of the other ones. Do we want to talk AJ, or do we want to talk who's the man in the box?
Why don't we start man in the box? I feel like I don't even know how much like meat there is on the topic itself. But I mean, yeah, this past Monday on Raw, there was a big wooden box that was backstage, and it said like "Do not open until." I mean, you saw it on the opening graphic here, like "Do not open until 2/28/26," which we know is the date of the Elimination Chamber in Chicago. Saw some kind of immediate speculation of a few people that it may be. But I'll kind of let you guys carry first. Who do you think, or what do you think? I guess there's a possibility that's not a person. Like it could be a gimmick. It could be anything in there. It could be a boat. If you've watched Family Guy. What's in the box?
Before we get there, the Owen Hart Edge match was the main roster debut of Christian. He just cost Edge the match by distracting him. Christian. As for who's in the box, I think the obvious answer is Christian Jericho.
That's a prevailing rumor.
Here's the problem. If it's not Jericho, what can it be to the crowd doesn't shit on it? I think that's my concern.
So it's in Chicago.
Correct.
Fairly good, like knowledgeable wrestling crowd.
Correct.
I'll let Joe take a stab because there's a name that I saw some people speculating that I'm like, okay, this could potentially be okay with the Chicago crowd.
Insert Adam Hangman Page.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that. I mean, is his deal up? Is it?
No, he's got a match 2 weeks later at Revolution.
I was gonna say I had no clue that his contract was coming. Would that mean something like that would obviously be pretty wild? But Joe, do you have any guesses?
Cocaine from Tony Khan's stash.
I mean, that could be in the box.
Joe unmuted himself, and I don't think he knows that his microphone isn't working.
I don't think he does. Are you okay, Joe? Blink twice if you're okay.
Baxter, bark twice.
Are you still with us?
Baxter, you know I don't speak Chinese.
So one of the names,
and he's gone.
He go.
Maybe he noticed that it wasn't working.
He'll pop back in here in a second.
Leave and come back.
I actually just pulled up Elimination Chamber 2017.
Ooh.
Opens with Becky Lynch and Mickie James.
Mickie James just called out Ash by Elegance on tonight's episode of Impact Wrestling.
Oh, nice. Joe, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can now.
Okay. There he is.
All right. Here's what it is. I know it for a fact.
All right, what you got?
They're going to fire CM Punk a week before, and it's going to be Punk returning in the box. It's going to get Chicago going.
They're going to that would get them going. That would get them going for sure. So to Mike's question about, if it's not Jericho, who would make it okay?
Nobody.
So somebody the WWE has reportedly signed that is making his way there is Evil. Being in Chicago, a pretty wrestling smart crowd, I feel like that would be okay. I haven't seen this name floated because by all accounts, he still seems to be kind of on the long-term injury list. Kevin Owens. It would be fine if it would be Kevin Owens. I think the crowd would respond well to that. Again, I don't think it's him. I feel like even if it's Seth Rollins at this point, and I don't think it is.
I got one.
Who you got?
What if it's John Cena announcing his Hall of Fame?
Oh, I didn't think about was Cena or not a Hall of Fame announcement.
Because if it's not Jericho, I don't know that it matters as a wrestler, like active wrestling. I don't know it's going to do anything, but everyone's going to always cheer for Cena if he shows up, and it's right in time to announce hey, Hall of Fame, you know what I mean? In Chicago, I don't know. I feel like I'm not expecting. Maybe this is sad. Maybe this is just the way WWE has gotten me. I'm not expecting it to be something super exciting for the wrestling audience. I'm expecting it to be something exciting, quote unquote, for the WWE audience. That's John Cena.
You're right. Or it's going to be like a new sponsor of Dude Wipes or something.
I do have
if it's a crate of fucking Dude Wipes.
Everybody in the crowd gets a pack on their way out.
There you go.
There's one other name that I've thought about. And that I've said, okay, if it is this person, it won't hurt depending on how it's done. And how I would do it is I would open up the crate right before the women's elimination chamber match. Because I would have the person in the crate potentially take the spot of someone who gets injured during the show. Obviously, this is a perfect spot for a Bianca Belair. But guess what? Don't think she's healthy.
No, she's not going to be around anytime soon.
So, I've thought about it. Chicago, fairly knowledgeable crowd. Jade Cargill is going to need an opponent. She's ran through most of the SmackDown roster. I know you still have Tiffany Stratton in the chamber match. But what if it's a debut? What if the box opens and there's a certain dentist,
Oh.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD?
Yeah. That I like. If it's like a surprise debut.
Like if it's not Jericho and you're not gonna give us Cena's, you open it and it's the Sting statue again from
Right.
the episode, or the Seth Rollins statue that ended up being Sting on the episode after that. Like if it's not going to be Jericho, like let it be someone that you're debuting and let that moment be there, like, oh shit, WWE got blank.
Right.
Whether they're in the match or not, they don't have to be. Would I prefer to see Britt Baker then in the match and then potentially win the match, and then your WrestleMania main event is Jade Cargill versus Britt Baker? Sure.
Yeah.
Does it have to happen? No, probably not. Would I love if it did happen? Yes. That being said, I think I'm in the same ballpark that you guys are in. I'm not going to sit here and get my hopes up and think that it's going to be Chris Jericho or Britt Baker or, the return of another star that, a debut of an evil or something like that. Like if the mid card, like say the mid card, like the IC or the US title was on the line in one of the chambers, and Evil was the one who came out of the box and he went in the chamber and immediately left with one of those titles, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. But like, I don't think Evil's someone who's going to show up in a wood crate, potentially get himself inside the chamber match, and he's going to be the one who takes on Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I think
Right.
all roads lead to that being Cody Rhodes. More on that next week.
Right.
But I don't know. Like I'm with both of you that like I don't want to get my hopes up, so that whenever it is a Hall of Fame announcement, create a dude wipes, whatever it is, like then I'm okay with it.
Look, can I play devil's advocate for 1 second?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's say it was Britt Baker,
Yep.
DDS.
DDM.
Close enough.
She's better than Isaac.
DDP.
Yoga.
Do you care?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that.
I feel like she's been gone for so long. And I always, look, my opinion on Britt was always, I've said it before on here, it was always she's really good, but she's in a very shallow pool. Like at the time, the women's division in AEW wasn't exactly 5-star matches. She was almost like outclassing everyone other than like Thunder Rosa. So I've always felt like if she came over to WWE and started having to have matches with some of the better talents, I don't know that she was always going to be able to hold her own. Now, add in the fact that she's been MIA for like 2 years, I'm not confident in that. Like, it might be a cool moment, but I don't even know how many people even remember who the hell she is besides us dorks.
Every person that's in the arena in Chicago will know who she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Or at least a large majority, like enough that like the crowd will get a pop.
There's enough of those dorks that Joe's referring to that
Right.
have filled out every arena in Chicago for every major AEW show that's been in that building that will go to the fucking WWE show because it's professional wrestling. There are enough 95% of that crowd would gasp and cheer and chant DMD if that crate opened and it was Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Now, just because you haven't seen her on TV in 2 years doesn't mean that she hasn't been training, doesn't mean that she hasn't been staying in shape, doesn't mean that she hasn't been ready to go. That's a Tony Khan problem. But here's my thing. You made the comment, oh, we haven't seen her.
Fuck you, Tony!
Thank you. small fish, big pond, you know, in the WWE aspect, but she was a big fish in a small pond in AEW. Well, if she debuted in the crate, got put into the elimination chamber match and wins it, all she's gonna go do is go wrestle a worst talented wrestler from the company that she was with in the main event of WrestleMania.
That's a good point too.
So if you're gonna go small fish, big pond, what's your best way to make her look even better? She beats her fellow ex AEW wrestler in a match at WrestleMania. And if there's a bigger fuck you, Tony, I don't know that there is one.
Fuck you, Tony!
The woman that you built the women's division around for the first 2 years of the company, and the woman that you hired to be the next big star of your women's company, wrestling against you at WrestleMania.
And I'll just say this. Sometimes I feel like in a company where like somebody who's maybe not the best in-ring worker is actually the best in your company. The reason why that person looks like they don't know what they're doing is because there's nobody in that ring with you that can help carry you to a good match. Because you look at Britt Baker's best work, surprise, surprise, it was against Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Who's tremendous. So the majority of the WWE women's division is at worst as good as Thunder Rosa.
It feels like it's one of those where it's hard to drag 5 miles of poop up a hill.
Right. So like if even if Britt Baker is no better than she was 2.5 years ago when we last saw her, the majority of the talent in the WWE can take that rough around the edges Britt Baker and turn it into a good match. Is it going to be a 10-star classic in Tokyo? Probably not. But it's probably going to be better than some of the things we saw from the AEW women's division when Britt Baker was there. And here's the thing, the shine may come off the rose kind of quick, but like in the wrestling business, sometimes it's about that pop and what you can get out of a quick moment. So
the last time we saw Britt Baker was the November 13th, 2024 episode of Dynamite. She beat Penelope Ford in 8 minutes and 56 seconds. I mean, her best matches, Chris Statlander, great in-ring wrestler. Then she was off for almost a year, came back, took on Hikaru Shida at Blood and Guts 2024, beat Harley Cameron in 4 minutes and 55 seconds, lost to Mercedes Moné at All in London, and then won 2 matches and was off the TV again. I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, September 16th of 23, she didn't come back until July 24th of 2024. And she was gone by November.
crazy.
At what point are we? It doesn't feel like it's a Brit problem anymore. It feels like it's a Tony problem.
Yeah.
You know, and looking at some other options, would I be upset if it's Saraya, aka Paige, making her return? Would I be upset? No. Would it be a letdown? Probably. Like that one just feels like it would be kind of a letdown, you know, unless you're going to play into it of the person that's in the box is the person who has been calling Adam Pearce every time Paul Heyman has a problem.
Yeah.
What if it's what if we decide to pull a what if it's old Dwayne?
I mean,
Here's the thing with that. Number one, entirely possible. I categorize that into like the John Cena of it all.
Correct, because he's not gonna come in and wrestle.
Right, he's not going to come in and wrestle, but it's going to get a pop from the crowd. It's going to fit the general WWE fan audience, if not the wrestling internet audience. So,
Correct.
like, which also makes it feel more possible. So I will give you that one. But given that the last few times The Rock showed up, he started something that we were all intrigued by, and then we just never saw him again for any follow up. I would just assume that it's going to be the exact same thing. And so I personally wouldn't be very excited.
Well, we can blame Travis Scott for that.
Oh God, I'll blame him in that fucking song for a lot of things.
John Cena's already come out on podcast and said that got scrapped when Travis Scott decided he didn't want to take bumps anymore.
Well,
He saw
yeah,
how
but it's twofold, right? Because like, yeah, that's why the tag match got scrapped, sure, but The Rock could have still stuck around and been partnered with someone else, done something else. Like, there's still could have been a John Cena, a Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, or a John Cena versus The Rock. Like, you could have. Listen, he's literally one of the bosses of the company. If he was dedicated to being in the ring and being there and like following through and pivoting the storyline and whatever, it could have happened. That man was like, oh man, Travis Scott doesn't want to take any bumps. All right, I guess I'll see you guys around. Here's a bottle of tequila.
Yeah, but you just said it yourself. If he was in the take and bump industry, I don't think Dwayne is in the take and bump industry anymore.
There's only one guy he's taking a bump for, and it's going to happen in Saudi next year.
Correct. So guess what? What would The Rock have done? Been there to let John Cena get booed? John Cena got booed enough by coming out to an all-black entrance stage with the title belt strapped behind him, with not throwing his stuff into the crowd, not fucking doing whatever. John Cena got over enough as a heel. Now, did WWE fumble portions of that heel run? Absolutely. That's another story for another day. But Dwayne wouldn't have gotten that any further.
Right.
So with Travis Scott not being there, what was your option? You tried the John Cena, Logan Paul stuff. It worked. But did you need The Rock for it? Absolutely not. So, like, I don't necessarily know that there's a reason for Rocky to stick around. I think if Rocky would have stuck around, I think it would have done more harm to the John Cena heel turn and retirement tour and all of that. At this point, I'm almost glad he decided to acknowledge the fact that there was nothing going on that needed him. He's going to go do his movies and he's going to go get his stuff together because he has a busy calendar. Because if he is going to take time off, it's going to be from November of this year to April of 2027 when it's him versus Roman, night 2 main event in Saudi Arabia.
What if it's Austin in the box?
To do what? I guess that's my question.
What Austin does: drink beers, stomp mud holes, and leave.
Again, that one I think is just you could just have the music hit. He could come out and you could have that moment without having to do this 2 weeks out. I think the Cena Hall of Fame stuff, Chris Jericho, somebody else debuting.
Do we think there's a chance it's Jericho? Because I saw a report that said that AEW had frozen his contract and like he's still under AEW contract right now, basically.
I mean, technically, you could say the same thing about Britt Baker. They haven't used her in a year and a half.
Well,
Yeah, but they don't like Britt. They might have just fired her.
But she ain't hurt if they're freezing her contract because they're not using her. It's the same thing as Jericho. He's not hurt. Tony let him go do his musical tour. You can't freeze somebody's contract whenever you let them go on and do their music tour. I don't think that's how contracts work.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how and why you can freeze a contract.
The only thing that I've ever noticed has been injury. If you're hurt, they could add the time that you were hurt. That's the only thing that I've ever heard. It's not, hey, I want a 6-month vacation. You want to give me 6 months on the back end of my contract? So you want me to pay you your downside guarantee while you take a 6-month vacation, and then add 6 months and I have to pay you on the back end of your contract. Pass. Injury, at least I think that at least makes sense.
Right. Like if they say, hey, we have nothing for you, go do your Fozzy stuff. Like, because I assume Jericho's like not really on like a full-time contract anyway. Like if he's
X amount of days, no matter what.
right. But again, I don't know for sure. I think it can be Jericho. I think the biggest concern is just that it's going to that it is going to kind of just be like a WWE thing where it's like a gimmick that doesn't matter, or if it's going to be something to pop a rating. I didn't even think about the Hall of Fame thing, whether it's John Cena or not. Like, I could very much see it be the headliner of the Hall of Fame announcement. Like, it was rumored to be Stephanie McMahon, maybe.
They already announced that she was in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so maybe they have a different Hall of Famer or something like that. Because I figure if she's getting it, the fact she's getting in, I feel like John Cena is not coming in this year.
He'd be great for the Saudi Arabia Hall of Fame class.
Sadly, does make sense. So yeah, I don't know if it's
what if, and what if I have to go to Reddit for this because I appreciate Reddit for this one. What if it's Danhausen?
It would work in Chicago. Because you have knowledgeable wrestling fans. I think he's great for the WWE. He's sports entertainment, so I'm all for it.
That was one that they said. Green shirt guy.
I will turn. I don't care where I'm watching it. I'll turn off the show.
Oh, wait a second. When is it opening? When's the box supposed to be opened?
The day of Elimination Chamber.
So what day is that?
February 28th.
Okay. So maybe not what I'm thinking then. If it was like a week earlier or a couple of days earlier, you might not know. I know. Wrong podcast, but still I know. Do you know what movie's coming out on February 27th?
No.
Scream 7. What if it's fucking Ghostface in there? And it's just a tie-in with Scream 7.
Do you want to play a game?
Like, tell me you can't see that. They open it, and it's fucking just like a cell phone, and they answer it, and you get the, like, what's your favorite scary movie? And then we get an ad for Scream 7, and then we just never speak about it again.
The sad thing is that's probably really plausible.
Like, I feel like that, John Cena and Chris Jericho are the three most plausible answers.
Yeah, those that's a strong top 3.
Everybody in the Reddit is saying evil.
Yeah.
Everything is evil.
Yeah, I think evil is definitely plausible as well. Because it has been rumored that he is signed, so why couldn't it be him?
Evil.
Again, that's another one that would work in Chicago.
I will say this, the only other thing, and I wish if it happens this way, I will be okay. I want them to open the crate, and I want there to be nothing in it. I want everyone to be shocked, and I want them to look down, and if it's the Hall of Fame and it's not Cena, let it be Bray.
Ooh. Yeah. And Elimination Chamber, I mean, he won his first WWE title, Elimination Chamber, so It could be the rocking chair. It could be the rocking
That
chair.
too, with the Hall of Fame plaque in the in the
On
chair.
the chair with the lantern and everything. That would be cool.
Like if you're gonna do that moment, and here's the thing: if you're gonna let Steph be the headliner, that's fine. Bray's got to go in sometime soon.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think you put him in Saudi Arabia where JoJo would have to go over there with all the kids and try to have that moment of thankfulness.
Yeah,
Put him in Vegas. Put him in Vegas. You know, because he obviously wasn't in last year's class, was he?
No.
Are there any new Fatus signed that we haven't seen debut yet?
I don't think.
I don't think Zilla signed yet.
I was gonna say I know Zilla's out there, but I don't think he's been signed, so I'm not counting
No,
him.
he actually has a match at House of Glory tomorrow, I think, against MJF for the AEW title. If it's not tomorrow, then it's one of these Fridays coming up. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's any other Samoans around that are signed. But yeah, you know, I think there's a couple of different routes that we can go with it that I think I'll be okay with. There are obviously a couple where and the crowd goes mild. So I think that's the thing I think you have to avoid the crowd going mild. Whether
Yeah.
it's Evil, whether it's Britt, whether it's Bray or Cena's Hall of Fame induction announcement, all of those will get pops, all of those will get cheers, all of that will get the crowd emotionally invested. You can't open that thing and let it be the gobbledygooker 2.0.
Right.
You do that, we're in a whole world of hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
So, does anything else? Anybody have anything else on Y2 Crate?
Rant away, my brother.
All right, let me stretch this one out. All right, so if anybody watched last night's episode of Dynamite, something happened on that show, and this is something that I want to, because then I started reading stuff on the internet, and mind you, this is a place where I will always say sometimes we don't charge enough for the internet because we let dumb people post dumb things on the fucking internet. During last night's show,
We don't charge anything for the internet anymore.
well, I mean, you still pay a phone bill, or you still pay, unless you're going to the fucking library.
Remember when AOL you actually had to pay a monthly internet bill?
Correct. I mean, technically, you have to if you have Wi-Fi in your home because
That's true.
it's built
That's
into your
true.
package. Like the only time, and you pay a phone bill. The only way you're really getting free internet is if you're going to like a Starbucks or a mall or a library.
Right, you're
really.
actually hitting a hotspot somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, but so
That's what I call my bed.
On last night's show, they had a interaction with no contact between MJF and Adam Hangman Page.
Okay.
During said debate, they were cutting promos against each other. Great promo from MJF led to a good promo from Adam Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
Adam said, I've beaten you before, and I want to have a match, but I don't want to have a regular professional wrestling match. Max was like, well, I'm only fighting you in a wrestling match. And then Adam Hangman Page did this, the one thing that has already blown up in Tony Khan Presents Wrestling. Max, if you beat me, I will never challenge for the All Elite Wrestling World Championship again.
Fuck you, Tony!
You've already fucked this up. You've already done this once. And where's that guy now? He's the biggest face in the other company. Adam Hangman Page, with the exception of Cody Rhodes, has been the biggest face that you have built in this company. And yes, I will say built because before he joined All Elite Wrestling, he was a mid-card guy in Ring of Honor. He was a mid-card guy in the Bullet Club in New Japan. Adam Hangman Page became main event homegrown talent through All Elite Wrestling. He's the best face they've ever had that they've built from the ground up. You can argue with me about that all you want, and that's fine. But there was an entire build to that guy walking in to the biggest North American show that you've ever done inside Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas, to walk out with the All Elite Wrestling World title. And now you're telling me that on February 18th, less than 3 full weeks before a world title match against MJF, Adam Hangman Page is putting his opportunity to ever fight for the title again on the line so that MJF will possibly agree to the one match that Adam Hangman Page should probably never lose, and that is Texas Death. He beat John fucking Moxley in that match, and I'm supposed to believe that MJF is going to have a shot in hell of beating Adam Hangman Page? Oh, but then I'm
sucks.
But then I'm supposed to believe that if Max somehow survives, and I'm going to use the word survives, whether it's Swerve costing Adam, whether it's somebody else, whether it's a returning Wardlow, I don't give a fuck who it is. You have now put yourself in the same predicament that you did with Cody Rhodes. And this is where the internet comes into effect. Because the internet is saying, well, Adam can just do the thing that Cody never did, go heel. We tried that. Heel Adam Hangman Page. Not effective. Could be serviceable.
Not great, Bob.
But not great, Bob. Good, not great. So then what does that leave you? And this is what pissed me off. And this is my rant. And this is the internet fan that I have to have the conversation with. And I know I said it was more Tony related, because if this is Tony doing this, this is a bad move on Tony. Let's rewind a couple weeks ago. What Adam Hangman Page put on his social media? A picture with his friend, Marty Scurll. And the internet shit all over Adam Page for being a good human being. And now Adam has come out and said, I don't agree with what Marty did. And me and Marty have had that conversation behind closed doors. But I've always been taught that you treat the people that treat you right with the same amount of rightness. And Marty looked out for Adam when Marty was coming up. Or when Adam was coming up. This is all according to Adam Hangman Page. This is nothing that I'm coming up with on my own accord. Nothing along those lines. Adam has come out and said, if you're nice to me, I'm going to be nice back. Yes, Marty is a friend of mine. No, I don't agree with what Marty's done. And I've had my conversations with Marty about it. And we've moved on from it. So if Tony Khan and wrestling fans are going to force Adam Hangman Page to potentially never be allowed to wrestle for the All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight title again because the man posted a fucking picture with his friend, is horseshit. We're in a world where we're supposed to be picking each other up. That ain't this. And if this is what's really going on, that's a problem. So, Tony, get away from this storyline. Let Max come out on Wednesday night's episode and say, nope, don't want it. Don't want Texas Death. Don't want your career. Don't want your fucking chance to challenge for this belt ever again. Don't want it. It's not worth it. Let Max be the chicken shit heel. Let him run away from it. I'd rather that. Because if you do this, how long before he's out of AEW? Probably in WWE, probably with the same rocket strapped to his back that Cody Rhodes had. My frustration, though, and this is why I said I don't think we charge enough for the internet, because you got people that are just trying to bring people down for no apparent fucking reason. And that's the frustrating thing. There's enough going on in this world that we need to rally against and fight with each other to stop these things from happening. Brody King, we talked about him last week. There's a real chance that you may not see him on TV for a couple weeks because Warner Brothers is going to say, who, let's chill out with that guy. Why? Because the fans are using their First Amendment right and you don't agree with it? What the fuck does that mean? Who cares? You don't like it? Mute it. You're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. When that crowd goes silent, we'll know what they're chanting. We're not dumb. Stop treating us like we're dumb. It's just it's so goddamn frustrating because at the end of the fucking day, Adam Page, if he's really having this held against him, this is the last thing that we should be holding against the guy. A guy giving someone who made a mistake a second chance to be his friend. Marty's not asking for a job. The Wrestling Fan Collective and Adam Hangman Page aren't asking for Marty Scurll to be on television tomorrow afternoon, Saturday night on Collision.
Right.
Adam knows his friend made a mistake, but he's still his friend. People make mistakes. It's how you grow from said mistakes. I don't know. It just really sat with me wrong, and I read that today on the internet on multiple different threads on multiple different internet affiliates, and I just, if this is what we're doing, Tony, it just doesn't make fucking sense.
I feel like I'd be surprised if it's that, but I mean, I guess maybe nothing should surprise me, but I don't know. I'd be like, I don't feel like it was headlines enough for Warner Brothers to necessarily care. I mean, I say that, but then again, they put the kibosh on Jay Briscoe over a tweet that nobody remembered from like a decade before. So, not impossible.
Right. Yeah. Regardless of the reason, and whether that that's the reason or the blank can never wrestle for the blank title again. Like when it literally is one of the reasons why one of your founding fathers of the company went and had the biggest moment of his career at the biggest and arguably best WrestleMania at the time in WWE history, because you basically cut Cody Rhodes off at the knees in like the infancy of the company. You should never do that gimmick again.
Correct.
Like,
But
period.
wasn't the Cody Rhodes thing like a Cody decision?
I think that's Cody Rhodes being smart enough in the business that he's not going to go on interviews and be like, "Oh yeah, like this is why this broke down and this," but like Cody's taking the high road on every single
I was gonna
matter
say, if he was gonna
relating
throw
to.
them under the bus, it'd have been that first sit down interview that he did where he said, "Hey, this went right, this went wrong, this we didn't agree upon, etc." Like he'd have just looked up and been like, "Yeah, I didn't want to do that," but fucking Tony was like, "We should get it. We should do it as a story."
Right.
Like I feel like he wouldn't have lied about that, even if it was a Cody call, and then you made the TNT title or whatever, and that's the title that he held and had great matches with it, and this, that, or the other. Um, you're the booker. You have veto power. Like At what point do you look up and go, man, I don't want the guy who's supposed to be my second most over babyface at the time, not named John Moxley. Like, there's no way I'm letting you never fight for the world title. Now, you may go 0-6 in world title matches. You may never win the damn thing, but I'm never going to have the stipulation that says, like, nope, never going to be allowed to fight for it. That just feels like you're cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Right.
And I know, like I said, they made the TNT title. They gave him that. They tried to make that title be just as important as the world title. No, that didn't work. Now, did Cody Rhodes have some really great matches? Yes. Look at the Brody Lee stuff. Look at the stuff with Sammy Guevara. His last night there with the ladder match. Fantastic match. But it was never the height of the world title. You know, a John Moxley Cody Rhodes AEW world title match, or a Cody Rhodes Chris Jericho AEW world title match. Yes, sign me up.
Right.
But now
Yeah.
but
Don't do the gimmick.
no, the gimmick is absolutely ridiculous. There's nothing good that comes out of it. Because here's the thing: if you use that to create quote heel Hangman, what's he gonna do? Set MJF's house on fire like he did Swerve's? Like, we've already had the sick and sadistic Adam Hangman Page. Like, if you want to make this feud mean something, like, you just had Swerve Strickland basically turn heel on Thursday last night. He took out Kenny Omega after their match because Kenny Omega is unavailable for Revolution because he is booked to be at a game show in Japan. Great job, Tony. Way to know when your roster is going to be around. It's not like you're the owner of the company or something, genius. So you just had Swerve basically take him out. So you have her heel Swerve. You got MJF. Make MJF be one of those guys where he's like, "Hey, Hangman, I don't want your title ability. If I win, you got to come work for me." And you get Hangman and Swerve as heels, being the assassins for MJF to take out every person that's coming for the AEW World Title. Do something with this. Instead, now we're going to be like, you know what? You can't fight for the title anymore. So what? When Swerve or when Kenny or when somebody like that inevitably wins the title and it's no longer on MJF, and Hangman Page can't have matches against them because he can't fight for the world title, then what? Oh, well, too bad. Or are we just going to hope that the wrestling world forgets that you've done this for the second time?
Right.
So two thoughts I'll share.
Okay.
Starting, where do I want to start? I'm gonna start with the first thought that I had, and then I'll go to the second one, so
It's
it
a good
doesn't
place
die
to
of
start.
loneliness. Yeah.
It's a good place to start.
What if Adam Page wins, and this is just their slightly off the beaten path way of getting us to a Swerve versus Hangman Page world title feud to get us through, like, from now through Double or Nothing or however long. Because let's face it, that was probably the feud of the year last year. Was that last year?
It was. I think it was 2 years ago. They were really
Okay.
a team for the back half of last year.
Whenever it was definitely like one of the most memorable things AEW was doing. It was well booked. The wrestlers were A game in it. It was incredible. What if they just want that to be the world title program? And like you said, like, look, Swerve all of a sudden is a heel. Like, that just became a thing. And now Paige all of a sudden is in a basically life or death situation where either he wins the belt or never gets another shot at it. it feels like those two things, while not connected with each other, can definitely cross paths and give us possibly the best world title feud in pro wrestling for 2026. So that's one thought.
Okay.
And if you guys want me to do the second thought, or you guys want to comment on that one, it's up to you.
Do your second one, and then
Sure.
I can.
The second thought is, now I got to remember it. Shit. Wait. Um, the second thought is, this is pro wrestling. Much like in comic books, they can always do shit and then just undo it the next week. You know, like how many times have characters died and come back to life and died and come back to life in comic books? You know, he can lose this match and quote unquote never get to fight for a world title again, like you said, and then, 6 months from now, win a match where he gets to fight for the world title, where it null and voids the stipulation from 6 months ago in MJF. Or like someone new is the champion and that person's like, I don't care what that stipulation was. If you want to fight, let's fight. You beat me, I'll give you a title match. And like there's always an out in pro wrestling because it's pro wrestling. So like at the end of the day, like yeah, it's an interesting stipulation and obviously like I don't love it. I'm gonna agree with you. I don't love when they put stuff like this on the table. But I like to remind myself they can always unfuck it.
They can. And ultimately, like I agree there. I think the thing that would probably like annoy me if they do that is like, and again it goes to Mike's point about like the internet discourse on it, because the discourse on it would be like, oh yeah, this is great, look how creative Tony got with how Adam Hangman Page could get back in the world title picture. But like if Triple H unfucked the situation, it would be like, wow, that bald asshole with the big nose is the worst booker of all time. Because yeah, and anything can be if John Cena found a loophole to wrestle one more time, doesn't put the jorts back on, but wrestles one more time. That could happen. It's wrestling. Never say never. Blah blah blah. We've heard Shawn Michaels allegedly wrestled again. I
Michael
it happens
Hickenbottom.
in Saudi. It doesn't count. But like, if it's AJ Styles is in the box and is like, I'm doing it. I'm doing one last run now that we know my time is up.
Oh, I fully expect that he's going to say that on Monday on Raw.
It certainly can. Or like, dude, I didn't expect to lose to Gunther, and I'm going to wrestle and say goodbye at WrestleMania. Something like that. But like, anything can get unfucked. To me, it's going to be more about, everybody tells me AEW is different. So then don't spit in my face and tell me it's water. Like at that point.
Triple H
So,
can't
like,
help it. He's got a condition.
but like, you've dug your grave, lie in it. Period. Just, you know what I mean? Like you literally don't have to do this. Like if you're going to do it and it's the big fake to get an Hangman Page title match or title win, so you get the swerve run, okay, whatever. But like you could have just, Tony Khan could just book the match. Every week on Dynamite and Collision, you have Tony Schiavone going, from the desk of Tony Khan, we have this match book this weekend. Just do that. He can. Tony Khan runs the company. He can do it.
Correct. And back to Joe's swerve Hangman thing. I don't disagree with that. But that feud, I don't think ever needs the world title.
I agree too.
Oh, the feud doesn't need the world title, but does the world title need the feud? Like I
No,
think if they're aiming to maybe be like, let's give the world the best world title feud possible, that's it. Like that's it right there. Because they like look, AEW constantly comparing themselves and competing with WWE. So here they are looking at, okay, the next like 2-3 months of WWE programming is Roman Reigns and CM Punk feuding over the world title.
mhm.
How do we compete with that? I don't think you compete with that with MJF versus Samoa Joe. But
Joe's hurt,
S-
so
well, yeah. But I'm saying like Swerve and fucking Page, that competes with that. Especially with the history, that competes with that.
well the problem is that AEW World Title match would be March 13th. WrestleMania is April 19th. So you're really going to change the title to counter program for a month,
Oh no. I figured this would go till like Double or Nothing.
which is what, August?
No, isn't it in
Or is it
May?
July?
I think it's May. I think they announced it for the end of May.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't really been looking at much of the
Which
interwebs.
which show?
Double or
Double or
Nothing.
Nothing. They announced it for Arthur Ashe
Oh,
Stadium
you're right. You're right. Because
or Louis Armstrong Stadium, either one.
All In is in August in London. Yeah, it's like May.
May
Yeah,
20,
Last
like
week in what is it?
May 24th.
I could see them counter programming with that and that being the world title match at in New York, in
So
Queens, you
Paige
know?
so Paige wins, beats MJF, goes into Arthur Ashe with the belt.
Yeah.
Okay. Because here's my thing, and I think that this is all but a foregone conclusion. Um, the match in Wembley is the crowning moment for Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay wins the AEW World Title in England this year. He'll be back from the back surgery. They're already pushing video packages and promos for him. He's coming back sooner rather than later. Maybe I live in a fantasy world, but I don't think there's a bigger moment aside from Adam Hangman Page winning the title at Y'all In than Will Ospreay winning the world title at All In London. Now, is he beating heel Swerve Strickland for the title? It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it would. And where's Swerve from?
Philly?
Yeah,
Uh
he's like Philly area.
because I know like Nana is from
Maryland?
like New York.
Maybe he's from Maryland. Hold on, let me look.
I mean, still East Coast, like winning the world
Oh,
title in New York.
he's definitely. Or hold on. Didn't they say like whenever he won the title, like at Dynasty in St. Louis, like was he not from the Midwest? I thought I remember hearing that. Let's see. All right, so my shit don't want to work right now. It's being a real pain in the dick. All right, Swerve is from. Oh no, even worse. He is from the West Coast. He is a Tacoma, Washington boy. Defy Wrestling. Yeah. Yep. Tacoma. Damn, Swerve's 35. I had no idea.
Hmm.
John Moxley being 40 is wild.
I low key thought your rant about AEW was gonna be about how they're about to book the Young Bucks versus FTR again.
They already did. They announced it on last night's show.
Oh, son of a bitch.
That was a foregone conclusion when they won that match to win the number one contender. I just came to live with that being a thing. And to be honest with you, I didn't really have this rant really tuned up. I had the rant about not like staying away from this storyline because I think that this is stupid. But then I made the mistake of going on the interwebs this morning and late last night and just reading people that are like, this is obviously punishment for the shit that, Swerve did. And I'm like, the shit Swerve did? They're like, yeah, being friends with that that asshole Marty Skrull. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. Like, huh? Like, how are we living in a world where, like, as someone not in the room, you're just like, yep, 100%, that guy's being in trouble because of his friend's choices. Well, if that's the case, there's a lot of this world that needs to fucking be looked at for their friend fucking choices, but that's neither here nor there. I hope that there's a world where Adam MJF comes out on Wednesday and says no, or Paige wins the match and we get what Joe's talking about, which I would be okay with, but then I would just tell myself, well, why the fuck do we take the title off of Adam Hangman Page to begin with?
Right.
Because then it feels like MJF winning the title again, just not important. And for a title that has become synonymous with having good title runs and good, not looking at you, John Moxley with the Death Riders. That thing dragged on for way too fucking long. But we inevitably got the payoff that we wanted. But that title has been you're going to hold it for 6 to 8 months and it's going to be a meaningful title. Sorry, not looking at you, Samoa Joe, either of the 2 times you held it, but you get the point. MJF doesn't feel like the guy who should be a transitional champion to put the title belt back on the same guy that he won the title from. That feels very, oh, look, the title changed hands Sunday at the pay-per-view. Monday night on Raw, the champion won it back. Fuck you, Vince McMahon, for this shitty-ass booking.
Right.
And maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? Hand up accountability. If I'm wrong on that one, I'll be the first one to, hello, that's on me. But it's just, looking at the way that Tony's done this before, it doesn't feel like it makes a lot of sense for the champion to lose the title to win it back from the same guy. Oh, I'm sorry. Samoa Joe beat Adam Hangman Page and held it for 35 days. I forgot that. See, that's how forgetful I am. That shitty ass title run of 35 days that Samoa Joe had. Why?
Right.
All right, I've beaten a dead horse. Thanks for playing along, boys.
We're here for you.
I just needed that one. That one just, it's, the internet really fucked me up earlier today, and it made me literally put my phone down and just go, wow, people suck. And then I turned on the USA women's hockey game, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Whoa, that was my lights just went out. That's got to be Kane.
Gotta be Kane.
Yeah, so that's all I got. AJ Styles retirement celebratory thing in Atlanta that we're having on Monday, question mark.
Yeah, I obviously don't want to go too long form on it. So I think this is when he made the choice that he wanted to retire, at least WWE wise, in Saudi. This was the deal they made because they know they're coming to Atlanta not long after. He's from Georgia. This is his thank you, Ric Flair, you know, the night after WrestleMania moment. Like, this is his chance to say goodbye at home. What I will say is I think this is a stronger signal that he is actually done than he's doing any more wrestling. And maybe, just maybe, he'll announce tomorrow that, like, you know, that match was my last match in WWE. I am retired, but I'm having one more match in TNA at Slammiversary. But I think with him doing this in Atlanta, I feel like there's a better chance that AJ Styles is done than there is that he's going anywhere else.
what if, hear me out, AJ comes out, has his moment. We're doing the hooray, hooray. What if our old pal JEFF comes out and bangs him in the head with a guitar, and that's your Slammiversary match?
Does he still work for AEW?
I don't know. I just wanted to try to get Jeff
I
Jarrett
mean,
another bag.
here's the deal. If it's going to be a match against Jericho, I'm fine with it. I think that'd be a great way for AJ to retire. At Slammiversary against the guy that owned the company that they made each other famous with, like, heck yeah, I'm all in for that.
Spend my days working hard.
on the
Go. I mean, that would be hilarious. I do think you get the emotional moment. I do think that you get the crowd sending. This is where I hit you with to quote the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Because someone else is going to be there on Monday.
Borg Laser.
Someone else is going to be there on Monday.
Who else is there?
Who has nothing to do now at Elimination Chamber. The guy who retired AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think he's going to come out during that segment?
Yep, certainly could.
You don't think that this may not be pivoting into something different than Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania?
Ooh.
Because I know a lot of people have been like, oh, it's Brock versus Gunther. I still think it's Brock versus Oba. We'll talk about that some other time. We've talked on this show. Who's left for the ring retire Gunther to go after? What if it isn't anybody new?
Interesting.
What if it's just AJ trying to get his lick back? And we talked about it in the last my rant. You can always just go ahead and unbook something.
Well, there's that.
So what if the match is AJ versus Gunther, and it's AJ comes out and goes, you know what, I'm done with WWE. I appreciate all of you. I love you all. I have this one contractual match remaining in my time. I'm going to perform at TNA Slammiversary in July. I love you all. Gunther's music hits. That's not what we agreed to. What we agreed to is that you wouldn't wrestle anymore. No, that's what you assumed that I agreed to. What I agreed to is that I would no longer wrestle here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want your entire career like I have Cena's. Well, you can't have it. Well, I can. WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
Especially
legs on either way.
Especially if you have nothing to do with Gunther. Like if you're not gonna have a career match with like Rey Mysterio, that he's gonna like retire Rey Mysterio or Randy Orton or any of those other guys that we've spoken about. Like if he's not gonna do that at WrestleMania, just let him lose to AJ.
Right.
Let AJ get away. Let AJ the next night have the "We love you, good luck in TNA. They don't want none." Boom. Tough acting to acting.
Right.
I tend to lean more towards he's going to come out and say, "Thank you, I love you, I'm done here. I'll see y'all at Slammiversary." And WWE will plug it, and then we'll get him versus probably like Leon Slater at Slammiversary, who WWE already seems to basically have on their roster.
Sure.
Not that that's the match I want to see, but I think that's the match. Something like that probably occurs. Joseph, what do you think about AJ Styles' retirement celebratory thing?
So it's either one of two things. It's either, well, one of three things, but it's either, yeah, he's just here to say goodbye, maybe get announced for the Hall of Fame. I think if that's the situation and it really is like a goodbye, I think he gets attacked and gets the shit kicked out of him by Gunther. And someone comes in and the show ends with someone standing over AJ looking angry at Gunther, basically like setting up Gunther's WrestleMania match. I don't know who that person is. I don't think it's Dragon Lee. I think that's too like that's not a WrestleMania match. Maybe Sami Zayn as a possibility. Maybe Finn Balor, who has a history with AJ and is kind of in the process of, turning heel. I'm turning face. So, like, those are possibilities, I think. Because Jim, you brought up the Ric Flair, like, coming and saying goodbye. Like, and then, like, they did, like, the 70th birthday with Ric Flair and Batista just beat the shit out of him to get a WrestleMania match. Like, I could see that. I could see, hell, what if Gunther beats up somebody else and is just like, I'm gonna do this until AJ agrees to have one more match with me because I want to retire him at WrestleMania.
Who would it be though?
Like I said, I think Finn Balor or Sami Zayn are probably the two most likely. Because I mean, I guess if Finn probably going against Dom, like I feel like that's probably a thing. But Sami Zayn, we've talked about it before on here. Like we don't really know what his WrestleMania is. And we know he could put on a banger of a match with Gunther. And I don't think it's a lot to transition Sami Zayn. Like, he's there to say goodbye to AJ Styles, even though he's really from SmackDown. And, like, he's there to honor his friend. And they both have such a history on the independent scenes. I'm sure they've worked together on the independent scenes at some point, probably like a pro wrestling gorilla or something. So I don't know. I could see that being the thing if AJ is not just straight up being like, I'm not done yet. If he is like, I'm not done yet, I don't know if that's like the whole year then. It feels more likely it's just till Mania. But if he does that, then you almost have to do Gunther versus AJ at Mania again because how's Gunther just gonna sit in the background and not speak up when it's like, wait, I retired you, bro. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what do you mean you're just like, no? Like unfucking the situation, right? You're just like, change my mind, not retiring. Like you can't. Like Gunther would have to be pissed about that and have to respond, and then you almost have to book that match at Mania. Do we see that match again for a third time in like what 4 months or whatever it is? I mean, that's kind of what they did with Gunther and Jey Uso. To be fair, actually, no, think
So
about it.
when you got disconnected, I actually kind of pitched the same thing where
Okay,
AJ comes out and says, "I'm gonna have one final match at Slammiversary. I'm gonna go back home." Gunther comes out and is like, I fucking retired you," and that's when AJ's like, "You retired me from here. I'm done here, not all of professional wrestling. I'm gonna go out my way. I had this set up before, blah 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 blah." Well, Gunther's like, "Well, that doesn't work for me, brother." And he goes, "I want to end your career at WrestleMania." And that's the Gunther AJ match at WrestleMania, where if AJ loses, he doesn't get the match at Slammiversary, and AJ beats Gunther. Whether that is because of help from somebody else, whatever it is, to lead into whatever Gunther's next feud is coming out of WrestleMania, and then AJ goes and has the match at Slammiversary, retires, and he's done by July. Because at this
I can
point,
see that.
and I said that that's the pivot that would make sense if there's nothing for them to do with Gunther at WrestleMania. Like if we're not going to get a retirement like match, like what else is there for Gunther to do? And we talked about that on last week's show. There wasn't anything that we were like, yep, that's what he can do. That's his MO. That's what he can go. Like his new MO is the career killer. Like he's got to go beat someone, whether it's Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, uh, don't matter who. Shinsuke Nakamura, who I think could be the person that comes out and tries to save AJ from a Gunther beatdown, which could then lead to Shinsuke versus AJ because those two guys have a lot of respect for each other from their matches. Look at their last match of Saturday night's main event.
You mean Shinsuke versus Gunther?
Correct. That could lead to the Shinsuke
Right.
Gunther, with Shinsuke's career being on the line. We already know that Shinsuke's content with doing whatever Shinsuke does. Maybe he's done being an in-ring performer. Maybe he's ready to hang him up. So if that's the case, and Shinsuke comes out and saves AJ from a beatdown, and then inevitably that's the match, cool. I don't know. I think there's a couple of different ways that it could happen. I'm excited either way. I just hope that whatever this segment is, I want AJ to come out. I want him to have his moment, and then whatever they do afterwards, I'm more than content with either direction that it goes. I just don't want one of those like, oh, he comes out, he doesn't even get to say a word, and Gunther interrupts him. The standard WWE promo, where it's like, we're just gonna fucking cut him off. No, let's let AJ have that moment, because if this is the last time we see him in a WWE ring on a WWE show until probably his Hall of Fame induction, like let him have that moment. So, do we have anything else about AJ Styles' retirement celebration?
Okay, I have one last thing, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
What do you guys want to see?
I want to see his friends, his family. I want to see them in the ring. I want him to come out. I want him to have his moment. I want him to say thank you to everybody. If he's announcing that he's having a match at Slammiversary, let him announce it and let him leave without getting the shit kicked out of him. Whether it's to set up a match against Gunther at WrestleMania, whether it's setting up Gunther's next opponent, whatever it is, I would prefer it be without AJ being helped to the back by medical team and this, that, or the other. Like, the guy deserves this moment. It's in his home state. The closest they'll get to Gainesville, Georgia. Just let him have the moment at this point. He's done enough for the company and everything to where it feels like just let him go the nice and happy way.
Yeah, because like I really do think that we are leaning more towards him just being done, and he's kind of told us for years that when he retires, he's done. So like all of this speculation about other places and a run in AEW and going back to Japan and all of this, like he's already given us a retirement tour. He's played the hits. He got a title with a guy that's newer ish to the WWE scene. So I want a clean retirement segment to close out, to either open the show or close out the show. And it's him and it's family, and he gets to say goodbye to his home.
Joe, do you have any specific way you want it to go down yourself?
I think AJ Styles is a wrestling man through and through. I think he wants to do business. um, the only place where I'm torn is I don't know if I want it to be him versus Gunther at Mania, or if I want this to be something that leads to someone else versus Gunther at Mania. But I'd be very surprised if the show doesn't end with AJ Styles down in some capacity. I don't need him being medically stretchered out or anything like that. But I think he's at least down with someone standing over him, staring down Gunther. Like it's either that or they do go the WrestleMania route, and then yeah, like they just end it with a stare down or whatever. But I don't know that I want to see him versus Gunther at Mania because we just did it at Rumble, like you said. Like why are we repeating things? You know, like why are we just going back to the well? Like why can't we do something original? If we were gonna retire, I guess maybe they didn't know they were gonna have a chance at Mania because his contract was up and he hadn't signed any kind of extension or anything, and now they got him to sign for Mania at least. And you're like, well, we got him, so now we got to use him at Mania. So like, let's make this work. And I guess in that situation, it is what it is. And I'm not questioning they're going to have a great match if they wrestle. Um, I mean, you got nothing else to do with Gunther. All right, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, let's have AJ versus Gunther at Mania. I'm down with that direction.
There you go. Talked himself into it.
I did. I'm good at
all
that.
right. All right.
Talked myself into being straight for like 20 years. So like,
There it is.
So many stories. All right,
none of them okay.
No, God no. Wrestlers of the week.
Do you have any, Joe?
I'll take Swerve. For swerving.
Okay.
He swerves in that corner. Whoa.
Who won something? I don't know. Who won on Raw?
I don't remember.
Right?
Hold on.
Wasn't there a title match? It feels like there was a title match.
You could go with, let's see. On Raw, Penta became the number one contender for the IC title.
There we go. I love me some Penta.
There we go.
All right, night, guys.
All right,
Later,
see you.
bud.
All right, give me. I just had it. Your new TNA International Champion, Trey Miguel.
Oh, that'll help your fantasy roster a little bit.
Bing, bing.
I will go with Kyle Fletcher. Won the best of 7 ladder match that nobody wanted.
I will stay in TNA. You kind of called this shot the other last week. Ariana Grace, your new Knockouts champion.
She hit her with the Cobra.
She sure did. You called that one.
That's
After you said that, I should have changed my. I should have switched out.
Dropped Lee. Yeah, dropped her and added.
Yeah.
I thought about adding her too, and then I started running into if she loses, what are my alternatives? That's why I picked up M by Elegance. I figured that the Elegance brand would retain. So I was trying to stay ahead of the curve in that regard.
Smart.
So that went that way. Let's see, where do I want to go? Let me give the some love to the old all ego Ethan Page. He retained the North American Championship in the main event of the NXT show this past week. Programming note, I haven't told you yet. I will be a GTD next week.
Okay.
It'll be, I'll let you know day of. The 26th is my wedding anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I will be happily married to the missus for 10 years on Thursday.
Nice.
We do record late enough to where it may not be an issue, but obviously we're going to dinner, we're doing stuff with friends. If we run long, which I don't know that we will, but I wanted you guys to know that there is a potential for that. but I
Yeah,
will obviously keep
totally
you all
fine.
in the loop.
I will never complain if I can go to bed a little early on a Thursday night.
The only thing is next week, if we do one, maybe we do like a rapid show where it's just previewing Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
A very quick.
And my week's a lot more free now without Huddle Up. So
Correct. Maybe we could do something on one of the other days, or because I'm off Wednesdays, maybe we could do a rapid Wednesday show, and or maybe I'm not off this Wednesday. I don't know. I gotta look at my schedule. Shit happened, but we'll talk during the week, obviously.
for sure.
If you are a listener to the show, we may have a show, we may not have a show. Be on the lookout. Check the
figure it
Twitter at 3count, or not at 3count, at Take 3 Wrestling.
Absolutely.
Plug it away.
Yeah, at Big Jim Sports on Blue Sky, Twitter. All of my podcast projects are there. Huddle Up. We're in the off season, so nothing new there. Hopefully we didn't get the new discussions with the Nobody recorded this past weekend. Hopefully going to get that done this weekend. Have a fun project there. And 3CT. We were live this week. Have a fun one coming up on Tuesday as well. So check it out.
You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. You can follow the show at Take 3 Wrestling. Fun show as always. Good show for me to get a rant off because it's been a while since I've ranted about Tony Khan Presents Wrestling. That's it for this week. We'll hopefully we'll be back at some point next week. Rapid show, whatever. That is a preview of the Elimination Chamber and what is going to happen in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Until next week, for Joe and Jim, I'm Mike. We will see you guys right here on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.